Yep.
So I know knife crime is a big thing out here in London.
Yep.
And you were telling me that they have organized like criminal masterminds where they have like the taxi drivers, the doormen, the people at the club. Everyone's in this kind of like ecosystem where they spot people with nice watches and then they hunt to take you down, or at least take your watches. And I was asking you like if you ever feel worried walking around London without it. And you said that you don't really wear them unless you have security around, correct?
Yeah, so if I have my security with me, like, I have my security / driver Friday. I have, he's back tomorrow. Like, there'll be days where I'm like, whatever, I know my schedule today, I'm fine, And as I said, like, when I was going to lunch, on the way to lunch, I was wearing, it's over there, like a Omega Speedmaster vintage, like 1972. And it's whatever, it's worth like $5,000. Like, if someone steals that, it's not the end of the world. So, I'll either walk down the street with like no watch or like a watch that's like under $5,000. And especially like a Speedmaster on a suede strap, like it's not like a RM or like a Patek, people are gonna, the organized crime is gonna, go out their way for that.
Right.
Whereas, it also depends where we're going. Like, right now after this, we're gonna go to Bob Ricard, which is, a nice restaurant here in London, see some of my friends. And for that, I wouldn't wear a RM, but, I might wear maybe like a $70,000 watch. I know this sounds insane to some people. If that got stolen, I mean, I'd still rest easy at night, But a $400,000 watch, I'd be like, fuck, that kind of sucks.
Have you had any like close calls, or have you ever seen any suspect characters following you?
No, because you basically just need to not be an idiot, right? So there's certain, for example, restaurants here in London. There's places, except for anyone who doesn't live in London, this may not mean anything, but there's places here in London, Novikov, Sexy Fish, stuff like that. These places have specific watch spotters. So I have people, for example, like even the security guys, they don't make much money. So, they'll even work with some of the organized crime to be like, okay, this guy's coming out with a, 1103, which is like fucking a braggadocious Richard Mille, like fucking, you can see it from a mile away. And then, for example, there's many scenarios that can happen in that case. If you're getting in an Uber or a taxi, like if it's clear you're not with security, like I'll go to any of these restaurants and I'm with my security, like, bro, like he'll fucking kill anyone. Like dude, he's, ex special forces.
What's he roll with? Does he roll with like a knife?
Whatever, I'll tell you off camera, right? Like when it comes to my security, and especially like, whatever, there's special things in the vehicle and whatever. The point is, I can wear whatever I want. I literally couldn't care. I could go to the most criminal infested place ever. It's not an issue. But, let's say, for example, I'm going to these places and I don't happen to be my security, that day. I'm not going to wear those watches, right? Because you have to be a real idiot. But for example, like the place we're going to now, it's not one of those like flex hotspots. Bob Ricard isn't one of those places where you're going to have watch spotters. So as long as, you get out of, the chauffeur car or whatever, and you go straight in and you're not walking on the street, with an expensive watch with a Patek or AP, you're fine. Basically, you just need to have your wits about you. And there's been certain situations where I just happen to have a nice watch on and I'm walking between locations. I just take it off. I put it in my pocket because to be honest, I don't really care too much about the watch. I just rather not get my arm chopped off.
Yeah.
And sometimes they don't give a fuck, bro. They'll just they'll chop your arm off. Because as well, the police in London are just fucking useless.
Yeah.
Like they've got batons.
Right.
Great.
They don't even have knives.
Great.
They have batons.
The fucking like 5'4" obese Indian lady was really gonna save me from like these fucking criminal organizations.
Yeah,
bro. Like it's the police in the UK, unless they're the actual like proper sort of special forces police. Bro, they're useless. So
would you roll like? Do you have security specifically for the watches, or would you roll security without the watches?
It depends, because right, like it's for the watches, but also like depending on where I'm going.
Okay, yeah.
It depends on where I'm going. As a general, it also depends on the city I'm in. Like for example, Dubai, I have zero security. I'll wear a $500,000 watch at 3 a.m. Like Dubai, it's to a point where I've had was at a meeting and then I ended up going to the beach and I didn't want to go in the water with my RM on. So I took it off and left it on my daybed because I know no one's gonna take it.
Damn.
Bro, you can leave. Dubai is the safest city on earth. It's incredible, right? So like Dubai, I don't need security full stop ever.
Did you at least cover it up with something?
No.
Holy shit.
No, just to like prove a point, because I was also with one of my friends who was visiting. I was like, look, I'm telling you, like, basically, whatever. They were like, there's no way I'm going to war with you unattended. I'm like, just trust me, like, nothing's gonna happen. So also depends on the city that I'm in. But London can be London. It depends on the areas you're in, but London can be a dangerous city, but especially when it comes to watch crime. Watch crime, there's more organized watch crime here than any other city in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.